Good morning, church family. Welcome to another amazing Sunday. Unfortunately, this Sunday we will not be able to live stream our service, but we'll be back live streaming next Sunday. But don't worry, I've got your back. I want to dive into the word that is the highlight, the culmination of this sermon series that we've been studying called The Waymaker. Today, I want you to come with me to the book of Matthew, chapter 14, verse 25. We're going to read a very popular verse, a very popular story, but we're going to be focusing on two specific things that God wants to do in our lives today. Are you ready? Let's start reading. Verse 25 reads this. Shortly before dawn, Jesus went out to them, walking on the lake. When the disciples saw him walking on the lake, they were terrified. "It's a ghost," they said, and cried out in fear. But Jesus immediately said to them, "Take courage, it is I. Don't be afraid." "Lord, if it is you," Peter replied, "tell me to come to you on the water." "Come," he said. Then Peter got down off the boat, walked on the water, and came towards Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, cried out, "Lord, save me." Immediately Jesus reached out his hand and caught him. "You of little faith," he said, "why did you doubt?" And when they climbed into the boat, the wind died down. Then those who were in the boat worshipped him, saying, "Truly, you are the Son of God." This is one of the most popular stories in the Bible. The story of Jesus walking on water. And obviously, Peter has a big part in this story. He sees Jesus out there, recognizes him, and he wants to emulate Jesus. He wants to do what Jesus was doing. He wanted to be part of the miracles of the supernatural. And so Jesus invites Peter and tells him, yes, you can be part of the supernatural. Peter steps out in faith and starts walking on water. But then he focused more on the reality of the winds and of the storm and the fact that walking on water is impossible. And so he started sinking. At that moment, Jesus reached out and saved him. Now, this is my first point. I want to let you know that this story is not about Jesus doing miraculous things just because. We had just come out of stories, if you read the book of Matthew, where Jesus had been performing miracles for others. And it seemed like walking on water was just a random miracle. Who is this miracle for? Why is he performing this supernatural feat? Is it just for his ego, just to prove that he is the only son of the Messiah, the only son of God, the Messiah? The answer is no. There is a purpose behind walking on water. And the purpose is this. Jesus will do the impossible to save you. Jesus will break the natural rules to get to where you're at and save you and bring you into a safe place. Isn't that our testimony all the time? Doesn't Jesus time and time again do the impossible to reach our hearts, to reach our minds? Doesn't Jesus have to literally walk on water to get to us, to save us? He did it then, he does it now, and he'll do it again. Jesus walks on water for you and for me. He does it to save us, to rescue us. Not only to show his power and his ability to us, but he does it for you. He does it, he wants to get to you in whatever means necessary. So always remember that. Jesus will do the impossible to save you. The second point is a very subtle one, but a very important one. In the first message of this series, we talked about how Jesus was on the boat, and this storm started happening, and he was sleeping, and finally they woke him up and say, "Look, Jesus, we're all going to drown. There's this big storm." And we talked a little bit about how sometimes we send Jesus to take a nap, right? He's in the boat, but we don't let him participate in what's going on and how we're all in the same boat. Well, in this story, there's a boat involved as well. And when Jesus saves Peter, guess what happens? The first thing that happens is this. Verse 32. And when they climbed into the boat, the wind died down. Then those who were in the boat worshiped Jesus, saying, "Truly, you are the Son of God." Can you see how when you're outside of the boat, things start happening to you and around you? But the second you are back in the boat, the winds die down. This is what Jesus wants to do in your life. He wants to bring you back into the boat. He wants to bring you back into church. You're calling on Jesus saying, "Look at all these storms surrounding me. Help me change everything." And Jesus says, "Look, the first thing I need to do with you is bring you back. Get you back on the boat." Once you're back in the boat, the winds will die down. And you will be surrounded by people that are just like you. Because everybody's on the same boat. The boat is a place of calmness, of peace. The boat is a place of worship. Isn't that the best example of the church? And again, we could dive in deeper to this, going back to Noah's Ark and how the boat symbolizes something. But let's keep with this story. In this story, the boat is our church. And out there, you are being affected by strong winds and storms. And Jesus wants to get you back in the boat, a place of peace, of safety, of healing, of worship. And so I want to always let you know that in these times of pandemic and of quarantine, Jesus wants to bring you back to church, back to the boat. And I want to end by saying this to you today. In this series, Waymaker, I want you to understand that everything Jesus does is because he wants to make a way for you and for me. But a way where? Where is Jesus leading us? Why does he save us from one place to take us to another? Where is this place? Well, it is clear in this story that Jesus is making a way for you to come to church, to get on the boat, to come to a place of peace and of worship. And today I want to leave this in your heart. Jesus is making a way through the natural, through the pandemic, through the protests and the racism and the heightened segregation or the feel of the racial divide. Jesus is making a way so we can come back to church, a place of unity, a place of peace, a place of worship. And so I want us to trust in Jesus. I want us to trust that he is making a way where there is no way, and that it is up to us to be rescued by him and to take steps to coming back to church. Family, I love you. I'm so happy to be connected with you this Sunday. Next Sunday is our One Sunday. For more information, keep in touch through our social media. Become an online member so you can get our emails and our text messages. Thank you for your generosity, for your tithes, for your offerings. We are making all of this possible again. God bless you, and always remember, God is with you, and we are too.